So I want to thank everyone for coming today and sharing this with us. And that's my last insincere platitude for the talk. So before we start, I wanted to give a shout out to a couple people. My significantly older brother, the primate of the Arianza family, who had a relatively brief ceremony to call. It was really great to be able to. To my fellow ring bearer and parents of the groom, Gary and Sally Wiley. The bridal party. Tracy and Sarah have been terrific. You know, setting up the shower and the bachelorette party and the wedding. And just did such a tremendous job. And they were really great. And Mikey and Seamus James. That's enough on that. I know it's your special day, Cupcake, but we'll get to you in the end. So when Denise told me that I had to do, invited me to do the toast, she gave me a few rules. So she said I was to be poignant but not maudlin, comprehensive yet brief, acerbic but not mean. And I thought, acerbic, poignant, maudlin? I finally got my money's worth for that grad school tuition. So I did have the list of suggestions that she made. There's not allowed to make fun of her, but I could make too much fun of Steve. No props, no one thinks they're funny but you. So even though I've maybe made a public speech or two before, I said this is a special occasion. This is my only kid's wedding. And I'm only doing this once. So. And so I said, let me do some research. So, because this is different. So I went on to Google. I went on to ask.com. Oh, by the way, those are all copyrighted sites, and there's 3 attorneys in the room. So. Google. And so, you know, when I looked through the suggestions, they all started the same way, and they said, remember, this is not about you, it's about the bride and groom. And I thought, well, that can't be right. First of all, I have a microphone. And second, every time a bill came in, it seemed to be a hell of a lot about me. That's kind of a rule I think we did. But, you know, there was some good advice. Another consistent one was, make sure you tell how you know the bride and groom. Anyone not clear how I knew Denise? I was in the room when she was born. And Denise, Celia, you were there too, but I don't know if you remember. You were pretty doped up. It was ironic because, oh wait, that's one of the stories I can't tell. So then Steve, you know, Steve was like the son I never wanted. I was an early draft, the son we never had. Because we had a son, he wanted to be an Eagles fan, we know that. But seriously, when we first met Steve, you know, Denise is pretty bright, as you know, so we met in a restaurant because it was a neutral place and they could run away if I became a jerk. So, you know, they were sitting down having dinner, and Steve took food off Denise's plate, and she let him. And to quote Anastasia Steele, we said, holy crap. You got that one. She was really like, this is the guy. So we had to give him a couple more tests. So the first time he came to our house for dinner, he sat, you know, next to Celia, and she immediately knocked the glass of red wine completely off. Because I remember at Red Wine, Celia will be able to tell you, it was in 1979, Tofazali Vineyards Zinfandel, you know, the year that the rain had too much rain and it was a little sweet. You know. I remember it being Red Wine. And he treated that with aplomb, and we thought, well, that was good. So the second real test was the the infamous Starbucks incident, where after the wedding of my favorite nephew, Stephen Fritchie, he's my favorite because the other two nephews aren't here. If they show up, he'll drop back down. But Stephen and I did our Starbucks run, and we got coffee for everyone. We're sitting there with a tray of coffee, and we pull into the lot and he goes, you know, I want to talk to you. And I went, holy crap, again. This is it, you know. And so I really wanted to focus on, so I went to put my coffee in the coffee holder, and instead poured 4 cups of scalding hot coffee down his chest. And he took it pretty well. I said, you know, he just might be tough enough for Denise. And then the final kind of test was, well, not really Stephen's, but he was the catalyst that finally turned Celia into her mother. You know, when we were first married, Celia's mother just doted on me. You know, and our favorite story was, soon after we married, Celia was sick home with the flu, and she called her mother for some sympathy and said, Mom, I'm sick, I can't get out of bed. And her mother said, oh no dear, who will take care of Dennis? So now Stephen's the beneficiary of that training because Denise called and says, hey, we're free this weekend, can we come for dinner? So he says, sure, what does Stephen want? So then, that's my little baby girl. Yeah, she's always been she's always been my buddy. I had a little thing I'm not going to get through it, but you know, even when she was little and she was the mascot on our softball team from work, you know, she would come and hang out with us, and she had her own softball uniform. And when she fell into that abyss and metastasized into the most horrible creature on the world, a teenage girl, but she evolved from that abyss and into a beautiful, intelligent woman that we're very proud of.
Yeah.
So raise our glasses. We'll finally get to the part that I was supposed to get to. Denise and Stephen, as individuals, you're really terrific people, and as a couple, you're just outstanding. And we wish you all the love and happiness in the world. Congratulations and mazel tov.
Thank you, Dennis. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce myself to you. My name is Brian, and I'll be your DJ throughout this evening's celebration. And I have good news. The bar has reopened, and your bartenders this evening are George and Dennis. So the bar is reopening in just a second. And this is a shout out going